married black women used to have more children than even white women. Their rate of childbirth has dropped tremendously. So that leaves only the unmarried black women having more of the children, right? So that's part of the context.
So part of it is the way the census is actually taking the information?
No. It's not the census. It is a cultural shift in the way married black women are having children. Second is that big ballooning in that part just so happens to coincide with the ballooning in mass incarceration and the war on drugs, when you were sucking massive numbers of African American men out of the community who were marriage age, who would have been doing something productive with their lives, and now they are no longer doing
that. I want to get into some of these root causes a little later, but I just want to get your impressions of that number. How did it hit? How did it hit you, Common, that number?
I mean, the number it definitely hit me hard in a way that I didn't expect it to be that high. And when I hear 72%, it makes me think, well, that's the number of unwed, but I still have to also, which we probably will get into, that doesn't mean that the father is absent.
Exactly.
You know, so that was it.
Right. And Joe, you're really out there on the front lines. Does that feel accurate to you?
Yeah, the number feels accurate, but you know, across demographic groups, family types are changing. The decisions,
the whole culture's changing.
The whole culture's changing.
Right.
People making decisions about relationships are different today than they were 10, 15, 20 years ago. And I don't know that we've accounted for the way in which this shift has taken place.
It's definitely a cultural shift. Mike, you and I, we had you go out and talk to some of the people in the community in Harlem just to get their reactions to that number, right?
Yeah, I got to say, when I heard the number, I was shocked. I didn't believe it. And you know, I was like, where'd they get this number from? Is that just a random, you know, and then when they said it was government statistics, I'm like, you know. You know.
Okay, let's roll that in. Let's see what Mike had to say to some of the people.
What would you say the percentage of black children born to single mothers is in America?
I don't know, maybe 60, 65%.
65? 65%.
Maybe. What, 75%?
75%. Between me and you, I would say 85%.
85, maybe 70%.
70%.
I think it's high.
Chicago, definitely for sure. 79%.
How you say definitely for sure?
Because Chicago is a rough city. I lived in Chicago for 7 years. Harlem, 69%. Brooklyn, 54%.
You sound like you did research, but you got like real specific numbers.
Because I know a lot of black people.
72% of black kids are born to unwed mothers. I saw your. How did that number make you feel? Right when you heard it?
Because I thought I was wrong when I said 65.
You felt like it was too high?
Yeah, I thought that was way too high.
So 72.
I was giving it a little bit of a buffer. 72 is ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
That's
right?
ridiculous.
That doesn't seem high to you.
It's always seemed high in the black community. That's nothing new.
I'm not surprised.
I don't see a lot of couples together.
72%.
Well,
what does that number say?
Well, that's basically from the 90s or 80s.
No, this is a 2010 government.
I don't believe that now, because
you don't believe
no, because a lot of fathers.
Do you think it's higher or lower?
About 71%.
People from 72 to 71.
72.
All right, 71, 72. Okay,
that government be lying.
Exactly. I love that the brother doesn't trust the government for 1 percentage point. Yeah. That's it. But that's what happens when you know. Okay, now Charles, I got to ask you this because some of the growth of the number to me is a little more staggering than the number. I'm of a little bit of an older generation, and in 1965, the number of black babies born to unwed mothers was 24%. So from then to 72% is what I find alarming. So is this really a crisis, Charles, or do you think it's overblown?
Well, I think I agree with Joe, which is that if you look at all groups, they're all increasing, right? It's just that the black number is much, much higher than others. So it's about 2.5% times what the white number is. But I think we have to figure out what crisis means, right?
Okay.
We have an old model which says that the only way to be a parent is to reside and provide. We are now moving into a kind of culture where people believe that you can provide without residing.
Okay.
And you can debate that back and forth, but it is just a different way of thinking about it.
There actually is a statistic, of course it's the one I don't have here, no, where it shows the participation of black fathers to actually be amongst the highest.
It is higher than any other racial group.
So a lot of this is maybe the way it's being shaped in the media or that sort of thing. You know, it's funny when I look at the way that it's talked about in the media. I remember President Obama, let's see, he had it here. Oh yeah, President Obama, he actually said in 2014, he said part of the problem with young men of color is oftentimes the only thing they seem to be passionate about is basketball or rap. Now, Common, you're a rapper and your dad played basketball, right?
Yeah.
So,
I fall in that category, huh?
So why does Obama hate you?
I don't know, man.
Are you the problem?
Man.
Okay, look, I'll get his answer when we come right back. We'll be right back, okay?
Oh, well. 72%, huh? Yeah. Things have changed, man.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's another discussion, but... I mean, we're living under someone else's paradigm.
Oh, well.
I was thinking I want to end out on a quote, and I have an appointment in like 10 minutes. But yesterday, for a lot of reasons, I was really thinking hard about Paulo Freire, I'm not sure if I said his name right, who wrote a book called The Pedagogy of the Oppressed. And I started looking at a quick read of the book, and as well as quotes of his, and there are a number of them that really struck me. So I'm trying to find one that's suitable and long enough. Paulo Freire was obviously an intelligent man, and he was Brazilian. And he had a critical theory of education. And I'll just deal with the first quote here. Education either functions as an instrument which is used to facilitate integration of the younger generation into the logic of the present system and bring about conformity, or it becomes a practice of freedom, the means by which men and women deal critically and creatively with reality and discover how to participate in the transformation of the world. So, our education is supposed to help us figure out how to make things better, or it can serve to oppress us and pull us into the system. And whatever kind of educator, black, white, male or female, we would hope that the education would be used as a liberating tool. And that's my word for the day.
Time check.
My sign off.
The time is approximately 9:37 p.m. That time check is brought to you by Semper Alexander Computer Consultants. We are to implement cost-effective solutions to fulfill your business need. Semper Alexander for all your computer needs. You can call them at 973-763-2011. That's 973-763-2011. From where I sit, this is it. The clock on the wall said that's all I like to say, but I've got to go. Remember, hard work beats talent when talent does not work hard. And for every 60 seconds, you lose 1 minute of happiness. And I know we always give you this song before we go, but we want to give you a different song tonight before we go. Lift every voice. Here we go.
Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought march on till victory is won. God of our weary years, God of our silent tears, thou who hast brought us thus far on the way, thou who hast by thy might led us into the light, keep us forever in the path we pray. Lest our feet stray from the places, our God, where we met thee. Lest our hearts, drunk with the wine of the world, we forget thee. Shadowed beneath thy hand, may we forever stand true to our God, true to our native land. And let us march on to victory, march on to victory, march on till victory